So yesterday, Venerable Sampton was, or maybe it was the day before, that's right, talking about, yesterday was impermanent. I didn't make it here, I was supposed to do this BBC. But the day before she was talking about impermanence. And I have the same experience she does in terms of bringing the thought that I might not be around in an hour into my day. I mean, there's no certainty that I'll even be alive in 1 hour. There's no certainty in it whatsoever. But that is like a non-reality to my mind. And so that is one of the ways that when I look at that and just the denial I have around death, I guess is what I might call it, or the lack of awareness, and it's just so inconceivable. It's to me, that's the act of ignorance just really presenting itself. And those kind of experiences of being able to see that and then thinking about the Buddha's teachings is what actually helps me to generate a lot of conviction in the teachings, because they're describing our experience. And it's exactly my experience. And so I find that quite helpful. It helps me think like, as Venerable says, the Buddha knew what he was talking about. You know? And so you can take it from one thing that you can actually see in your own experience, and you can apply that same kind of thought to other things that are a little harder to take in. But the other thing I wanted to think, that I was thinking about impermanence, is that I find thinking about impermanence, I mean, sometimes I guess you can think it's kind of a bummer, maybe, but I don't really usually see it that way. In fact, I rarely see it that way. Even when I was a teenager, I remember listening to a song that talked about how life is change, how it differs from the rocks, and that, of course rocks change too, but that was the idea, you know. And that was very, very helpful to my mind. And what it helped me to understand is that as a moody teenager, you know, is that when I was in a bad mood, that too was going to change. And so for my whole life, I've used that idea when I'm kind of like in a funk or something, just like, yeah, this too will change. And but everything feels so permanent at the time. So oftentimes I find these things actually quite useful tools. And I think that's just the short little thing I wanted to mention, is that these are our tools, and that they can, when the mind is up to in the clouds and you need to bring it down, you can use tools that do that. And when the mind is down too low, you can use tools that lift it up. But the one around impermanence seems to kind of go a lot of different directions and have a lot of different areas of application, you know. So, you know, sometimes when we're sitting on the cushion and we're like thinking about lunch, and pizza and ice cream and good and plenties. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't actually think about food at all when I'm on the cushion. My distractions go otherwise, but they seem to be, I do like ice cream. So, you know, but if you have those kind of thoughts going, you can just kind of, your mind is like off all over the place. You can bring it back like, well, I might not be around. Maybe I should focus on something more important, you know, so you can kind of bring the distractions down a little bit. But at the same time, you can use these things to lift yourself up. And so I think it's, some of the antidotes kind of are multi-directional, I guess I would say. And good to know that and use those things.